Welcome to the Quantum Health Connection podcast. We are your hosts, Heather and Vanessa.
Join us as we explore the new quantum health paradigm.
Learn how to reconnect with nature, to elevate your health, and to mitigate the impact of modern living.
As quantum health coaches and classical homeopaths, our mission is to inspire and motivate you on your healing journey.
This is not medical advice, and this is for educational and entertainment purposes only.
Let's dive into today's show.
Welcome back to the Quantum Health Connection podcast. Thank you so much for being here with us. I'm your host, Vanessa Bolton, with my incredible co-host, Heather Crimson. Today, we have such a fun interview for you. You're going to love this one. We interviewed Nat the SunWhore. We know her from Instagram. You, Heather, were the one who said, you got to follow this girl, Nat. She's so fun. And then I started following her and I was like, I love this girl. She is so authentic, so real, spreading such like love, passion, truth, and just what's nice about her too that really draws me in, Heather, is that she really is like sharing her day-to-day like experience of how she's really like embodying a circadian lifestyle and like living it like in real time every day. And you get to watch her and see her and just how she's interacting with that and how that's making shifts in her life and having greater capacity and greater intuition. And I just really loved her energy and her vibe. And I think she's going to be helping. I know she is already helping people and just continuing to help people be more aligned, not only in their circadian rhythm and their circadian biology, but in their life. And I think it's beautiful what she's doing. And I just really loved her energy and really hope you guys enjoy this one. What do you think, Heather?
Well, Nat is somebody who I would call a well-defined woman. She knows who she is. Yeah. She knows where she's come from. She knows where she's going, right? And she is so good at articulating in a very accessible and practical way a life that is very grounded. So being outside, sunning all of your body, including your privates, just doing all the things, connecting with nature to be able to know yourself, to turn inward and not be distracted by everything outside of us. And, because those things, let's be honest, like blue light and all the different things can start to help make it so that we're disconnected from ourselves. And that's what she's really good at, is helping you to just very, very simply start by doing these practices, and then also start by noticing yourself, noticing your body, right? She's just, the way she talked about it, Vanessa, to me just felt like super elegant, but very, very, I don't want to say simple, but just very accessible, very clean. Yeah. That's the way I'd say it. She's just very well spoken. And what a delight. What a lovely human. She's got this great sense of humor. She's hilarious. She's bold. She's bodacious. I love how she just speaks about things that most people are like, oh my goodness, I can't believe she just said that. But I love that. I like that kind of courage and just say it like it is. And so that's why she's getting people who are being drawn to her from places maybe where they didn't feel as nourished. And she's very nourishing that way. She's a really safe, yet alive. Like, it's not like safe like we're in a cocoon. She's safe and very much radiating this love and compassion. I just love it. It was great.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love that you described that. It was beautiful. You articulated that so well, Heather. Great job.
Thank you.
Well, we really hope you guys enjoy this one. Thanks for tuning in. And remember to rate, review. Written reviews are so appreciated, and share it with your friends if you really resonated and you enjoyed it. Enjoy it. Welcome to the Quantum Health Connection podcast. Natalie, we are so glad you're here. I'm just saying to you right before we started how much I love your authenticity. I mean, really, truly. I love watching your stories. They're awesome. You're being yourself. You're being real. Welcome. Love it. We're excited to chat with you.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah.
So it's funny because you're going to call her Nat, and now I want to call, or Natalie, and now I want to call her Nat. So it's going to be interesting how that plays out. But anyway,
I'll answer to every bit of it.
Yeah. So I had, if it's okay, Vanessa, I wanted to ask you, because this morning I did a little, story about how excited I was to have you on the podcast today. And that I need to ask you about the horror piece, because it's so bodacious. It's like so in your face. I'm sure you get that question a lot. You even have merch with that on there and the little booty. It's hell yeah. So you're on a mission, woman. I want to know all about your origin story, like Vanessa was saying, and why did you choose that?
Oh my God. So, yeah, I really didn't know if I was going to name it this. And all my friends, after you'll hear the story, you'll get it. But they were like, you have to do this. So I was living on a homestead at the time. I was very sick. I had taken care of my mom, and she got diagnosed with Lewy Body Dementia. And during the time that she was sick, I stopped weighing. We're going to say I gained 60, 50 pounds. I quit weighing. It could have been more. And so I was taking care of her for about a year and a half before she passed. She would stay at our homestead a lot. And I ended up with a bald spot, like actually like baby's butt bald on the back of my head. I gained that weight. My antibodies for thyroid stuff were in the tens of thousands of percent. And all my normal stuff wasn't working. Like, we're eating organic, we're living on a homestead. Like, it seemed very nature based. But I couldn't get up. Like, in the morning, it would be 8:30 and I'm still exhausted. And so I read this little self-published book by Andreas. I can't remember his name, but y'all probably know.
Yeah.
Morbus?
Yes. Yeah, I know it's a name. And he was talking about healing with sunlight. And I was following Feel More Gooder at the time. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start waking up. I had bird feeders outside because I'm over 40, and this is a value. We all know it. It's an unsaid. So I was already looking at the bird feeders, and I'm like, I'm just going to get out there. And it was a low, pathetic looking thing. I'd bring a blanket. My face was puffy as hell, and just stare at the sun. And I started to feel really good. And then I would do my workouts outside grounded, and I felt better. And then I would lay outside, and I would lay ass naked out there. And if I heard the mailman coming up our long rural driveway, I would just pull a blanket on. So my friends would text me like, what's up? And I was like, I'm being a SunWhore. That's what's up. And then it just went further. And I was working with some coaching clients at the time, and they would text me pictures like, just being a SunWhore. And I was like, okay, people are into the cheekiness of this. And so then we took it further and said, I'm out here fucking the sun, whatever, just like as far as you could go with it. Like, that's how far I went. So when it came to I was like, I want to do like a circadian health movement to awaken people to their divine intuition through strong circadian practices. And what's the name of it? And I had 800 names, and I was like, it's definitely got to be SunWhore, one word, but capitalize that W, just make it clear.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing all that. A lot of that really resonated with me in a way, because I had alopecia areata and
Okay.
antibodies also. So a lot of those similarities there as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Much better now, of course. But yeah. And I have been a SunWhore myself probably since about 2021. So
Yeah.
one thing I love to do is naked sunbathing. Like, it is like one of my favorite things to do. There is nothing more energizing, more sensual,
Yes.
more powerful feeling than just laying in the freaking grass or on the
Yes.
naked. Like, I don't know what it is. And one of the things that I've struggled with, I'll just out myself, is libido issues.
Yeah.
And if I need to like work on that,
Yes.
just go outside naked and you will be like, charged with that shit. Like, it works it's like so the most powerful thing. Like, I think the men need to like forget Viagra and like doing that instead. I mean, and there's science behind it too, of course. Like, we know that there's the vasodilation that happens, and there's nitric oxide that's coming to the tissues, and bringing light, like UV light actually does that, and bringing light and nutrition and blood flow to those areas. And that's why it works, and it freaking does. So,
and honestly, I hear that more than anyone else. Any other comment, the most I am told is, you are changing my sex life. I have had men say, I used to take testosterone and I am not taking it anymore. I've had a married couple, married 26 years. She finally talked her husband into laying outside naked on their anniversary. She's like, we were able to have sex and finish out there for the first time in months. And then he ended up building a sun area in their house because he was like, holy shit. Like, I hear it more than anything. And that's what I love. And that's one reason why I feel so confident in SunWhore, is like, I'm not asking you to jump on a weird bandwagon. I'm asking you to go experience it, and you will own that shit for the rest of your life, because it's one of the truest things you'll ever feel. And it just, so far, 100% of the people that are living this way are like, oh, I'm obsessed. Like, I won't do another way because I've never felt like this. And so I'm like, okay. And people that don't like the name, this is not for them. That's okay. It's
That's
okay.
okay. Right.
No,
The
they're
people
not. It's
who
all about
resonate with
resonance.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Heather.
No, I'm just saying it's all about resonance. And so the people who are meant for you, I mean, it's just so beautiful because it's like a magnet, right? And it's a brilliant, obviously, marketing. I mean, it's brilliant. It's all the way around.
Thank you.
Everything is amazing because people are going to get that nourishment they need in every way. I mean, you got the connection to the earth, to their body, to their passion that links up to your soul, but also relationally, you get that resonance going on. I mean, what's not to like about it?
And it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's free. And you never go back. Like, I don't think that anybody who started using sunlight to support their health, their hormones, immune system, whatever, right? They're not like, nah, forget it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not true. Like, it doesn't
No.
happen. Not one client has ever been like, that was just a waste of my time.
No.
No.
And I heard you say this recently, and I was like on the other side clapping. You said every year I feel like I'm getting stronger. And I feel like that is so real. It's like you go into every new season being more charged up in a deep way and finding new nuance between your relationship with light and it's my favorite way to live.
Yeah, and I love too that you said totally like, yeah, and that's so true. Every year because I was in a really dark, like sick place, right? So like every year, like, a little bit stronger every summer. Like after every summer, I'm like, well, I really got a lot of light. Like I really really recharged everything up. But it's also not, your intuition also grows, which I also have heard you mention too, which is like the other thing about it and this is so true of all the people I feel like who get on the circadian bandwagon and they're really like aligned with nature and its rhythms and they're like, they get the downloads, they get these intuitive hits, they're like, they kind of know what to do, they know the right path for them. And all these things kind of like just fall back into place, like you're in better alignment. And that is the deeper, more powerful part of sunlight. So
Yes.
I want to tie it into your origin story, going back to that, because I'm just so fascinated, Nat, about how you got here and just all the things you've been through, and your intuition brings you to Bend, Oregon from the South. Tell us more about, like, so you were helping your mom, she passed, and then you were so stressed out, your body, started to become rejuvenated with the sun. And then how'd you get to where you are now?
Yeah. So when we moved out to where we were in Georgia, it was one of those, we want to be in the Northwest, but at the time we couldn't afford it. And we were like, let's just homestead an hour north of Atlanta and see if this scratches the itch. And it did not. And it was like incredible. It was truly a dream home. Like in the South, farmhouse money is a lot bigger than Northwest money, I'll just say. So it was like 12 acres, this gorgeous house overlooking the Appalachian Mountains. And I had planted over 1,000 native plants, and we had an organic berry patch, and we were doing permaculture. And like, it was beautiful. We had fruit trees and turkeys and ducks and chickens, and we raised pigs. Like, we went all in. And yet we were still like, I feel this longing of, we've always wanted to be there. And I just heard something about Bend recently that got me really excited energetically. But we sold the literal farm and moved cross country with 4 kids, 2 dogs, a 67 Airstream, and did an 8-day road trip. It was a shit show. I will never lie about it. We traversed 3 time zones, which I was like, no big deal. And then at the end, we were like, we all hate each other, just like a tiny bit, like a little pocket of hate there. We need to just take a breath and remember we love each other. But so that's what we did it. We were like, we're going to regret this. We had wanted to live in the Northwest for 16 years, and we found Bend 10 years ago, and we loved that it had everything in the Northwest that we loved but sunlight. And so that's how we ended up here. And we just wanted to be in a place that felt more energetically aligned and more open to things like circadian health and the things that my husband is doing. So we're renting and figuring it out. And people that we tell the story to, they're like, so you came out here for a job? And we're like, we actually came out here to create all new streams of income.
There you go.
And they look at us like, that's the most un-American shit I've ever heard in my life. And I'm like, yep, we're betting on ourselves and we're figuring it out.
I love that though. That's like amazing. You're just going for it. Like just like kind of going with the wind and like just seeing what following your heart and your intuition. Like that's some beautiful thing. And it's also like, it's fearless. Like it's very courageous, because people like, I got the job and I got the thing and I got the money and I got the house and I don't want to move from that because it feels safe and comfortable and I don't want to go outside of that. Right. So to me, that's pretty incredible. So kudos to you guys.
Thank you. I've always been more on the fearless side, but it got me in trouble back in the day. When it was like, I'll do the most dangerous thing anyone's thinking about doing. And now I'm like a grandma that enjoys to go into like, can we go to bed? It's like 8:47. But what I found out about Bend, so a lot of places that have like high vibration, like near the pyramids where there's underground aquifers, Bend is full of that. And there are volcanoes. A lot of these mountains are actual volcanoes. So the energy here, there's like a palpable feeling of like people are excited to do something, to create something, to be a part of something. And when I found that out, I was like, oh my God, we were drawn to like a high vibration place. We didn't know it. So,
But more sun, I hear you saying. So more sun.
oh, yeah. Yes.
Not like where I grew up in Washington State, where it was like foggy and rainy and dreary for so much of the year with just a little summer peak out,
Yeah.
And I found it quite depressing. So I was outside a lot as a kid, just as a refuge, but also just because, it was beautiful. And but I don't miss that kind of feeling of dark and the low
Yes.
clouds, and it was just too much for me. So here in the desert, even though the summer is like ungodly hot and it's dry, it's like the sun, like blue sky. And there's nothing like that. There's nothing like that clear blue sky and being able to be outside and feeling so like communing with nature.
And this has 300 days of sunshine, and I am obsessed, but it also has snow, and I'm an Enneagram 7, so we like a drama moment, so we get a white Christmas, and I'm just like, yeah.
Oh, so it sounds like it has like the best of all of the like weather for you guys. Like
for us, it's definitely our vibe. Like summer, you can have your bathing suit on and go down the river, but winter, you get a real winter, but all the sunshine. My only like very first world qualm is just that people here say that is not the beach, that's the coast. So the first time I went there, little Georgia Southern Heart, I'm like, perfect, we're at the beach. And then I was like, Jesus Christ, this is cold enough for a humpback whale. And it's cold all year. Okay, cool. Well, we won't do that ever again.
Yeah, that was how it was in Monterey. I was there for 21 years. I just moved to the desert last summer, and I would do the cold plunging there because it was cold as hell. Even down there in Central California, you have to go further south so it's where it's bearable. And I did in Nicaragua in 1989. I was like, this is amazing. But no, it's not a beach, but sure. It's a beach in Carmel, but it's cold.
Yeah.
So let's go back to like reversing your autoimmunity and the, because alopecia is a form of autoimmunity also, right? So what did you was it just the sun, or did you do some more things? I mean, obviously you're getting all the energy, you got the circadian rhythm, you're in the sunlight, you're getting the grounding. Did you do anything else, or was that kind of, because you sound like before when this happened, you were living like a pretty holistic life, like living on the farm and eating probably really quality food. So people always think it's the food. So this is why I wanted to bring that to the light.
Yeah. The thing that I started to be more conscious of during that time in the very beginning was seed oil, because I learned about how it comes to the surface of the skin, and the moment that it's processed, it's already giving off free radicals, and then in the store under UV light or under blue light, giving off free radicals, and then in your body and on your skin. So I cut out seed oil for the most part at that time. I went from like cardio-ish to actually lifting weights outside in the grass. And now that's my favorite form. And I'm like, how are we going to do this when there's a blizzard? I don't know. We'll figure it out. So I started doing those things. And then I realized that on this circadian path, as you begin to awaken that intuition, you start to have more room to process emotional things. So it was like the container of my heart that was grieving became larger, and I was able to see the grief. And I think that all of these things are so inextricably connected, where it's like I can now grieve, and now I know what I need, which then motivates me to be in the sun more, which then like it was just this beautiful awakening of like, oh my God, this is so deeply true. And so it was little by little. Like we already had a little thing that turned our internet off, so we got a little more diligent about that. And then I got Raw Optics on their Thanksgiving sale, and just all these little things started to line up. And like you said earlier, it becomes so wonderfully aligned. It's not like I didn't feel like I had to do all of these things, but I think that my nervous system needed the safety of the circadian rhythm to be able to express the grief more fully.
Oh, that was so beautiful. I know Heather's going to want to comment on this, but we always talk about energy, right? And emotions, and how, emotions are energy in motion, and you need a lot of energy to release and to deal and to handle and like
Yeah.
really like, because I feel like people who are low energy, they're going to stuff their emotions more, because it's just as soon as
Yes.
they start to come to the surface, they're like, I can't handle it, right?
It's too much.
Becomes too much, right? And then when we start aligning the body and increasing the voltage, right, then we
Hmm.
can have the capacity to then thus deal with those things and move through them in a healthy manner. Oh my God, that was beautiful. I was like, just loving
Oh, that is so sweet. Yeah. And I think too, I never heard this before I had gained weight, but during the time I was like, okay, I have gained all this weight. I heard that like weight is actually trapped energy. And the
it.
idea that my body was so traumatized and it was holding this physical cocoon to keep me safe. And I feel like the circadian rhythm piece allowed the right signals to come through of like, it is safe in here. Like
Mhm.
you're going to be okay in here. And that's a whole other rabbit trail for me about just learning to mother yourself. And with circadian rhythm, I feel like that even awakens that innate sense of like, no, but what do I need? Like, what do I need to tend to inside of me? And we don't, when we're cut off from the natural rhythm of all things, we forget. Like, people don't know what they need. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
so sad. And so, of course, we grasp the food or the blue light or the extra dopamine hit on the social media because we don't know what we need. And that's a terrifying feeling. And I think we all have this collective low morale right now where we're afraid of what is happening. And this circadian piece is such a big deal because it meets a person right where they are, whatever their need is. And it's going to raise that vibration and it's going to begin to do work in them in a very different way than the next person and the next person. But all of it is so human. Like no one doesn't find their deeper connection in the circadian rhythm.
Mm.
Because if we don't have enough internal capacity to be with what's true inside or what needs to come to surface to be processed, like metabolizing unprocessed emotion, and we
Mm-hmm.
don't have the voltage, as Vanessa said, then we're going to constrict, but also we tend to look more outside for solutions. So that's, I think,
Yes.
where people get in trouble with the latest fad or dogma in the health world, or we're like overworking, or we're relying on substances, or we're also relying on other like institutions like religion. And
Yeah.
then we get caught up, and not to say all religion's bad. I'm not saying that. It's just that I think it can take on sort of a obsessiveness. People can get
Oh,
so,
yeah.
so wrapped up in it, and then they lose themselves, and it's all about, it's kind of like the mob mentality, like, oh, we have to do whatever they're doing. And so
Yes.
I love how you framed it before we came on camera about how, you had to work through your own relationship with all of that and your own faith,
Mm-hmm.
and turn inward to find your own truth around all that. Yeah.
Yes.
Shedding a lot of layers of programming, if you will.
Oh, yes. And I'm more rebellious. Like I'm just wired that way. I was always the kid asking the weird question or whatever it was. And that curiosity went sideways in my wild teenage years for sure. But what you just said about realizing that so many people just put their needs and what they're really feeling to the side, and then it's all programming. And even the word programming that offends people. Like, what do you mean I'm programmed? It's like, no, we all are. Like, we
Yes.
all are in some way. And to get curious, and I think the circles I used to be in, that's where you get condemned. It's like you don't question, you don't ask. If you're questioning and asking, that's wrong. And realize like, no, like real freedom, real liberation is when the questions are welcome and that you have built a body that is biologically able to hold the tension of everything we don't know and to rest lovingly in it rather than the condemnation gospel is more what I grew up with. Like, no, you don't question and you don't emote. And if you have this emotion here, yes, it's under the cross or whatever. It's a very what is the word that bypassing? Very much like
Spiritual bypassing.
yes. And one of my biggest mantras in the last 5 years has just been we heal by feeling. And
Yes.
and
I
it is, it's a long work and it is so unglamorous and it is not what any of us want to hear. I didn't want to hear that. Like I didn't want to hear people say, my therapist told me when my mom first died, like you'll be like deeply grieving for 3 years. I was like, I don't want to do that. And it's like, but it is a long work. And you end up you get an invitation to expand or contract. And anything like that can make you either a more spacious person, more loving and deep, or like you said, like restrictive and constricting. Is that the right word that I'm using? Just in. And I saw that happen to family members where they chose not to deal with it. And that's a whole ADHD rabbit trail, guys. Sorry. Just
No, that's a great one though, because it's so true. Because those hardships that we go through, I mean, they're super challenging. Like we said, we need the voltage and the energy to handle it and move through it. And if we have low voltage, we will get stuck there, I feel like. And we
Yeah.
can get stuck in that constriction and that rigidity and that
Yeah.
the walls coming up and not able to move through it. This is why I love homeopathy too. I have to bring it up in this case because we're talking about emotion
Yeah.
and things like this and grief and trauma and all this because some of that therapist who's told you need 3 years to move through that, that's not necessarily true if you know a good homeopath or even
Yeah.
who does flower essence or things like that can help you move through that in a more, I mean, it's a really hard thing, grief like that, right?
Yes.
But you can move through it in a quicker, more efficient manner than
Right.
years of, just being in this like deep dark hole.
Right.
Well, it certainly can help you not get stuck because I think sometimes people aren't able to reconcile with certain things about what their lives or their relationship with the person. And so that's definitely those things need to be attended to. But I see what you're saying, Vanessa. It's like it'll help facilitate the emotional processing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to hang out there forever. We need to figure out how to metabolize it.
Yeah.
You move past it, like move through it. You know what I mean? But you have to, just because like when I said you take a remedy doesn't mean like, oh, you're going to suppress your grief and it's going to go away. What it means is you're going to actually be able to have the energy and capacity to move through it and get through it in a more efficient manner where it's not like taking like 3 years to go through
Yeah.
it.
And I did
never
find
lose that. You never lose that necessarily, like that grief feeling is always somewhat there.
Mhm.
It goes through in a it's not
Yeah.
as dark. It's lighter.
No,
It's lighter.
what you're saying sounds like when I did a season after my mom passed and while she was still sick of microdosing. And it felt like it gave that space where I remember saying to someone, it was almost like I was just in it all. And then I was able to be above it and to see like, okay, this is how I'm feeling rather than the feeling just overtaking me all the time. And I will say too, to the origin story, because I will, after we do this, I'll be like, I forgot to say that. Watching my mom, what she went through and what I know now, I see that so much of what happened to her was probably from deep, lifelong circadian disruption and like ungodly amounts of blue light at all times. It was just a perfect storm of a lot of things. So part of my healing journey was also like the cycle will end with me. Like my mom was precious, but she did not like know and love herself, nor did my grandmother. And so I think that circadian piece again, it's like part of my healing is that I will know myself. And this has been the most radical path for me to know myself and to heal that I've ever experienced.
Yeah, that's so beautiful too. Yeah, it's like one of us has to break the cycle, right? And it's like for some reason, just whoever it becomes to be in the like along the lineage, right?
Yeah.
Break that cycle. And of course, light, artificial light, and having circadian disruption has a hand in every single disease.
Yeah.
If you name the disease,
Yeah.
it's there. So it doesn't like when people say, does this apply to like, I'm like, yeah,
Everything.
every disease there is
Yeah.
applies to, because you are living out of alignment and you're not
Yes.
belonging inside, you're belonging outside and all the benefits and,
Yeah.
Yeah. And suppressing your melatonin at night, all those things, right? So it's just very, it applies to all things is my point. One of us has to be the ones to break the cycle. And it's usually some sort of breaking point, right? Like me, it was myself who had the breaking point, right? But other people, sometimes it's like you, it's a loved one. And then you see the pattern and you're like, I'm going to be the one to like make this a better place. And this makes me think of then how do your kids do with all of this? Like, how are they accepting of this? I don't know their ages. I have a 15-year-old, 13-year-old. They're soon going to be coming to the next age, 9-year-old. And it's like, it's teenagers.
Yeah, my oldest, I have 21, 18, 15, 13. And they've always known, mom's just weird. Like I've always just been like, hey, they still give me shit about like 15 years ago when I tried veganism for like 4 days. They're like, do you remember when you made us all vegan? Like, guys, it was a breath. It was a moment. It was a hormonal flux in my cycle. I don't know what to tell you. It was stupid. I'm sorry. But the kids they humor me. My girls more so than the boys. The girls are younger. So they've been around longer when I was like what my boys would say might be excessively woo woo or weird. But it's funny. They'll give me all the shit, but then they'll text me a picture standing in the sunlight here and there. Just like I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And when they come home, they take She Legit and multi organs and oyster zinc, or eat this gelatin gummy and say this prayer 6 times, and your antibiotic, you'll never need an antibiotic in your life. Like, we do all that. But they're gonna have to figure out their own thing. Blue light's the number one thing that they are like, Mom, this is so 80s of you to be concerned about. And I'm like, you just wait and watch the research in the next 10 years, So we're there.
The research is out there for sure. And
I know.
The funny thing is like my kids will like my oldest son was teaching his coach about blue light. Like, so they like know it, right? But they don't always practice it. And they do, but they don't. Like, and I'm like, and when I first learned it, I was like, this is how it is, and this is how it's gonna be. And I was like, and then I was like, well, that's not working. So like now I just kind of inform and I let them make their own decisions and their own choices. And if they're not feeling so great, I kind of remind them of like, well, when was the last time you've been outside? Put your feet in the grass. I don't know, put it in the sunlight. Like I just kind of remind them of the what to do. And they certainly come to me for homeopathy and things like that when they're not feeling well too. But I just kind of like, I'm just the guide. I'm not like the enforcer anymore, is kind of how I feel.
Yeah. And I feel like we're just planting seeds by how we're living. And I'm like, you know what? Ultimately, that's their journey. And they're already light years above where I was at that age.
Me too. Same.
That's the phrase that I had, is planting seeds, because they just need to know, they need to have that exposure, and then it's going to come up later on. They're going to have that. Oh yeah. And I think that it's especially relevant for the young generation, like you guys are bringing into the world, because I don't know about you all, but the AI stuff, it's like intense. And I just feel like it's going to get even more and more weird. Yeah. And so it's not just blue light, like there's a lot of other aspects to all this technology stuff.
Oh, and
so speaking of disconnection from ourselves and our intuition, I also feel like that's a piece of it, is the AI, looking outward and relying on AI for so many things, and people marrying AI is just ridiculous. So the best we can
marrying AI.
Yeah, people do. Yep. And I know.
Oh, crazy. My God.
Crazy pants. And so, getting people's feet in the earth and the sun is the best way to get them out of a trance. Because I think we're in a trance, that brainwashing you talked about and all of that manipulation, the programming, it's a trance, right? We're not awake to the reality. Because I think, honestly, if people really knew, like, and not to get all conspiracy, but if people really like knew some of the stuff that's actually documented and you can find it, they would be so overwhelmed. It's like that fantasy bond. Like, it couldn't possibly be that way. People couldn't possibly be so evil. It's like, well, power is very addictive. And so the message that you're bringing, Nat, is so, so valuable. And what we espouse also on the podcast is like, let's just take a moment. And like you say, Nat, let's take a breath. And just really get in touch with our humanity, because that's essential to maintain that relationship with our sense of self and our place in the world, and just understanding all the energy of all these things.
Yes. And I think it's so hopeful too, because like with anything, if we experience something, then we can own that information for ourselves. And even like we kept smartphones away from our kids till they were 16. And now my daughter had one a little earlier, but she has no internet, no social media. Like, we're very old school about all of that. And it comes in our room at night. But them watching Friends and seeing the experience of like, I want you to get curious about, how do you feel in the context where everyone's looking at the screen, you're inside, what is actually in your body? What does it feel like? And then for adults, what does it feel like in your body to sit at your office under blue light all day and then eat this food that is not alive in any form or fashion, that is full of bizarre shit that you wouldn't even buy at a hardware store because you can't pronounce whatever's in it, and then go camping for a weekend? Tell me how you feel. And so I think the most hopeful piece is we're waking people up to who they really are, whereas this programming is trying to trick people into who they are not. So I feel like we have the advantage of, we're not trying to hold a shiny little, look it over here, maybe get on my ship. It's like, no, this is the ship that you're like genetically wired, because you're a human being, a circadian being. When you feel it, you will always have that frame of reference when you're out in this blue light and the EMFs and all that. So I think it's just a really powerful thing that we're possessing something that's like, this is age old ancestral truth about existence. And if you feel it, you will find the truth in it because of that resonance and the charge and all these parts of you that I was just telling my boys the other day, like a lot of your friends have no idea what it even feels like to feel super good and awake and alert. Like some people have never felt that. And that is so sad to me. And I want every one of them to have a chance to find
Yeah,
this path.
passion, zest for life. We were talking
Yes.
before we came on camera about libido, and
Yes.
part of the SunWhore way is the genital sunbathing, right? And that
Sure
lots
is.
of
Oh, yeah.
friends and clients have noticed an increase in libido and like miracles happening, right?
Literal miracles. Yes, I finally had to tell a couple people like, hey, I'm really happy that you're into this. Please, if you send me a picture of you sunning, I need that coffee cup to be about 2 feet bigger because that is a little much close to your penis, bro.
Yeah. Okay, right. We don't want to send pictures to anybody. We don't want to see that. No, that made me just think of. I had something else I wanted to say, but now this question came up to into my brain about how do you manage that naked sunbathing and with the kids? Because I know you homeschool, and
yes,
I had all my 3 kids were in school, so that was like perfect. I could do my naked sunbathing.
Yeah,
and I actually had an incident. Well, I'll share an incident. I'll share in a minute. But I I now I have my oldest has been on homeschool, so I'm like,
yeah.
every time he like goes to work with dad, I'm like, naked sunbathing day or something like that, because like I can't I don't have that space for myself anymore.
Yeah.
So like, how do you manage that? I mean, I have little tricks, but not like full on like I'm outside naked. Like I like literally walk in my backyard naked sometimes.
Yes.
So,
Yes. I text my boys. So first of all, my boys have me blocked on Instagram, both of them. They were like, if I ever see your bare ass come up in my explore page, I'll pull my eyes out and I can't do it. So they both have me fully blocked. They let me know that. They were like, we love you, Mom. We're cheering you on. And we're going to believe in you for that first million, honey. Yeah, okay. But we're blocked. And then all summer, they lived in the vintage Airstream out front because we're in a very small rental. And if you saw how urban it is, like my neighbors here are probably 15 feet away, their house. But there's a spot in the yard that's close to a fence on a corner that certain times of day is great. And I would just text the boys, tits out till 2:30 for breast health. I'm naked outside, and they would just send me like a skull face like they're dead, and they weren't out there. And so far they've never seen me, and they're just like, I can't believe you're doing that. And I'm like, cool, I'm trying to live a long time and it feels really good. Talk shit all you want, but when you turn 35, you're going to put your penis in the sun. I know it.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it. I had a sign. I had like a paper sign that I put on this naked sunbathing in progress. Do not come outside. Like I
Mom's working on healing.
Yeah. But I'm just like, oh my God, that is so funny.
Yeah.
God, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
It has to be something we can get for that for you guys. Like they have these beach screens you can buy. I don't know if they're tall enough for second floors, but you can put it all around you.
I asked my husband to build me something. You think he would have done that? I mean, he's a contractor. I'm
yes.
Like, want me to be naked something outside? Please build me something. So make this happen. I actually one time was outside. I was going to say I was naked sunbathing one time, and the landscaper came in the backyard. They had left, and I'm like, oh, they're gone. They must have forgot something. So they came back. I'm like, oh my God, that was the most embarrassing moment of my entire life. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay. We're human.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just be careful, ladies. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's worth it. The benefit you get is worth it. So yeah.
100%. Yeah. I kind of just stopped giving a damn. I never really gave a wholehearted one, but living out in rural Georgia where you can just burn shit in your front yard like a cowboy, you just stop caring. So now I'm in this urban setting, and I really actually do work out in granny panties and a hemp bra regularly. Mm-hmm. And my girls gave me shit about it for a few months, and I was like, I'm not changing this. So if you want to just not argue about it anymore and be upset about it, I'm just going to be out here. And then they were like, all right, we love Mom and she's outside in her underwear, whatever. Fine.
That was very hard for my kids, especially for my oldest, because my oldest is 15.
Yeah.
So you have similar ages. So when I got really sick, like everything changed. And then I just kept changing things and still changing things and still changing things. And it's like, that can be hard for kids. Like I totally get that. he's like, I think he was like still waiting for me to go back to the old me, which
Yeah.
happened, but like I think he was still waiting for that. And it's like he has to have his own like growth and acceptance of like this is how things are now, and this is my mom and I'm gonna love her just the way she is, like, And
Yeah.
so
And I
That's
kind
the
of feel
easy
like
model for him.
I was about to say
yeah,
it's so beautiful to me because I didn't see my parents evolve, and especially my dad, like he just stopped growing and progressing. So part of me just feels like this is that journey of aliveness, and we're modeling for our kids. Like it's okay to change your mind, and it's okay to
Mhm.
expand, and it's okay to say, I believed this. Now I've learned better.
Yep.
And so I feel like in that way, while they think it's woo woo, they also are, I hope, secretly admiring. Like my mom is brave enough to just be her. And she ain't for
Yeah.
everybody, and I'm not for everybody, and that's okay. And I'm like, I want them to feel that. And I want people to feel the what's a better word than rebellious? Kind of the rebelliousness of like awakening.
Yeah,
Like
no, there's definitely
I
rebellious.
want them to feel that like tribally. And when we were making our logo with my husband, like we made it a booty, and then the S is like boobs, and it's very purposeful. That the longer you look at it, you're like, oh, that is an ass. That's what it is. Okay. And because I want it's that, like you said, like primally, like we need it. We're all too I don't know, proper. I'm like, come on. If you put your vagina in the sun, I'm letting you know you will feel some type of way, and you'll never forget it.
No, that's
So
so true. Yeah.
yeah.
So how do you have your program? Tell us
Mhm.
about your offer. What is one of your offers?
Yeah. Well, the first one that I came up with was just an initiation, and it's basically 21 days of what my beginning journey was. And it's not hitting on like, certain workouts or anything. It's just the rhythm of circadian practice. The limit the blue light, no seed oil is the only food thing. And then getting in touch with your intuition through that morning sunrise. And so it just takes women through. There are mantras about it, because that you were talking earlier about programming. It's like every time we tell ourselves a lie, that neural pathway is deepened.
Yes.
And that brand new tender little neural pathway, like I wanted to guide people through, you got to learn to speak in loving belief to yourself so that that intuition feels safe to emerge. And so that's the maiden voyage of that. And it's a PDF. And ultimately, like I want to have a whole SunWhore village and retreats and natural fiber clothing and all of the things. We'll get there. It'll just take a minute.
Yeah, no, you can't build it all in one day, right? It's like
Yeah.
always a progression, right? And you just keep progressing, and that's
Yeah.
amazing, right? So that sounds like an amazing offer though that you have for women, and
Thanks.
really hope they take advantage of that because we don't realize that these little changes make such a huge impact on our
Yeah.
bodies, and that once we start like putting in that habit, we can build that habit with somebody supporting us to do that. That then it just becomes a habit, it becomes natural. Like it's not a thing like for me to like wake up at sunrise. I just automatically do it. And it's not like I don't have to like remind myself to put my blue blockers on. I just automatically do it. Like I don't,
Right.
it's just it happens very naturally.
Yes.
Once you start building this kind of habits and then it just becomes routine in life and part of your life. So yeah, that's the way to make it happen
We
for people.
also want the weight loss to be that way too.
Yeah.
Tell us about that part of your offering.
So I will tell you that my weight loss at the very beginning was as slow as a snail. My body was like, "Hey, we're still very traumatized. I know we're feeling better, but we're gonna hold on. We're gonna hold on."
I love it.
So the weight loss piece, like ultimately, I'm aiming to have like a full weight loss longevity protocol that will be 60 to 90 days to come out right before the holidays. That the 21-day initiation is kind of like seeding their taste and thirst for like, oh, okay. But I think that the nervous system piece is foundational. And then the weight loss, I don't jump on any bandwagon for that except eating seasonally. And then I have a couple little hacks, but I think that the initiation is less weight loss focused and more let's open up this part of your body and the divine knowing that you have. And then the longevity piece will be like, okay, do you want to lose it? Because once I really got in a zone, and like you were talking about, Vanessa, where you're not thinking about getting up, you're just getting up. It's just happening for you. Then it was like you all of a sudden have the capacity to do more. And you're like, well, that felt good. Lifting this heavier is going to feel better. And then you're like, oh God, that felt great. Well, now I need some private. Okay, now I'm having great sex. So what else can we do? Like it all just kind of begins to stack. And I would love to lose like 20 more pounds in this moment if I could just like snap my vanity fingers and make it happen. And I feel like I'm on that last little path for it. But man, it's, as y'all both know, it's layers. And I feel like the payoff is how good you're feeling the entire time. But we all just want a quick, can I lose 10 pounds in 3 days? And I'm like, if I'm gonna be honest, bitch, that ain't happening. That ain't happening.
I want to comment on that because I love to see your weight loss journey, and I love that you're doing it right and that you're doing it in this slow way, because weight loss shouldn't be quick and fast. You probably don't know, part of my story is that it was like 2017, after my third child was born, I was decided that didn't want to be fat anymore, or didn't want to be obese anymore, and I was probably, I mean, I probably was 200 pounds, close to that, at 5 foot. So that was really heavy. And I just decided one day to do it. And then I went to Weight Watchers and I lost weight really quick. You're talking like 60, 70 pounds in a year.
Oh, wow.
Problem with that is it creates problems. It creates problems in the body. You're just moving things through the body too quickly. And I can be super diligent, and that's why that happened. But when you do that, you cause nervous system dysregulation, you cause cell danger response, you cause all kinds of health issues. And I try to bring that to people's forefront. Like, you got to lose the weight in the right way. And you are doing that. Like, you're not like over restricting calories. You're just moving your body, being in the sun, like living in alignment, living with nature's rhythms. That's the right way to do it, because when you increase the body's energy and you get that balance working back, that's the magic, because excess weight is just excess energy that your body can't tap into.
Yeah.
So it's not just about calories in versus calories out. Obviously, we both know that. We all know that. But it's just like, I really, in my heart, I don't want people to go down that route, because we get so like, I just want to lose the weight. I just want to do it. And I get it. I get it. But I mean,
But you're saying,
I get
Vanessa,
it
that it
too.
actually created more weaknesses for you, and then that precipitated other
yes,
health emergencies. So it's very
all
dangerous.
autoimmunity just started after being on that calorie restriction train for way too long. So
Yeah, and I get a lot of people that come to me and ask, what do my macros need to be? What are my calories? And I don't recommend any of it. I mean, I'm just personally, it's just not my style. But I think, again, that's that intuition, and so many people restrict too much. And like you said, then it's a cascade of other things. And I've noticed in this, I mean, because it's been a long journey. Like, I've been on this path now for 2 years, like this particular one. And before that, I was already on a holistic path, and we were very similar in that way. No pokes, all the things. But I've noticed as this journey has gone on, like, I've observed how my body will have times where it's like, we want to let go of 8 pounds in 6 weeks, and then we don't want to do anything for 2 months. But I'm seeing these layers of myself, and it feels very sturdy. And like what you're talking about, when it can be extreme, it feels very different from that, where it's like my body is getting to these certain levels, and then it'll acclimate. And then it's like, okay, and now we do here. And all of a sudden, oh, wait, this skin is hanging off of me in a way I have never seen it. And then it's gone. Like, just these weird, because I think the slow piece is allowing my nervous system each time to say, okay, where are we? All right, we're good. Okay, let's try this. And it's made me love it even more, to be honest. Like, I'm more grateful for the language I'm learning with my body, and like, oh, that's what that means. Or, ooh, yeah, cold plunging isn't good for me during this season of life. And I think, again, people don't have the tools or the language, and they look at it very it's very American. It's very like, no, now. Like, now.
Yeah, I love that. Right,
I need it. I need it right now. And it's like, but you also, not only are you shortchanging the biology that is optimal, you're also not experiencing this wondrous time with your own body, where you're noticing your strength, and you're noticing more energy, and you're noticing more clarity of thought that comes with that gradual journey.
Yeah, I love that. And you also, like, I think the more you do the circadian alignment and the circadian eating and all the things that you were just mentioning, I don't know, like, you kind of naturally eat what your body needs. Like, you eat the energy that your body needs. And that's what I've found. Like, I'm like, some days I'm more hungry. Like, my macros aren't the same every day.
No, me
Days
neither.
my body needs more energy.
Yes.
Right? Depending on how much energy I charged up from sun and grounding. And some days my body needs less energy because I've gotten energy from other sources. So, you kind of just, the energy balance or the energy management system of the body just kind of realigns, where you don't really need to like worry so much about doing all of those things, and your body just takes in what it needs versus just taking in excess energy because, you're stuck all days indoor and you're eating, in blue light all the time and you're up all night, and your circadian rhythms are just so poor, right? So that also
Yeah.
is another big part of it. So I think your transformation is beautiful and you look amazing, by the way.
Thank you so much. You as well. I never knew you even had any more weight on your body in your life.
Oh, yeah. Well, because it was before I got into the circadian stuff. So,
Yeah.
so that's kind of the weird thing. People always like, if I show pictures of myself, they're like, that's you? Because I was
Yeah.
not in that.
Yeah.
So I got to the circadian stuff because my health crashed so much. But
Mm.
the reason why my health crashed, which is why I'm always trying to say it, and people will get annoyed with me about that, is because I kept myself in a low energy availability state for so long. Of course, circadian rhythms and sunlight surrounding and all stuff was not in my realm then, but you cannot restrict yourself of nutrients and micronutrients for 3 years without having a long-term consequence. That's
Right.
why I developed alopecia. It was part of the reason why I developed autoimmunity. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's also an important thing, especially for women, because it's all about nervous system safety, which you said before. And when you are undernourishing your body, the body does not feel safe. My leptin was a 2,
Mm. Mm.
very low.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
also the problem.
Yeah.
The body needs to feel safe, and one way it feels safe is by nourishment. So we have
And
to.
Heather, you did say earlier, like, did I have any specific weight loss thing? And one thing did just come to mind during that whole season on the farm. I was waking up, I'd go outside and let the chickens out, go talk to the pigs, do all the things. But I would then come in and drink coffee on an empty stomach. And I thought that was a great idea. I was like, I don't even feel hungry. And I wouldn't eat until 11:30. And so that is one universal thing I tell men and women, but especially women now. I have a very fatty protein breakfast within 30 minutes of waking, always before coffee. And now my coffee has raw egg yolks in it. But still, like, I think that was huge. And I was putting myself in a cortisol spike fight or flight mode every single day.
Yes.
And I think that so many people do that. And I didn't realize that when our metabolism is thriving, you should wake up with your belly burning. So that was another cue I learned. Like, I thought that was a wonderful, like, good job. You're not hungry when you wake. And it was like, that's actually your body is very stressed and low energy. And
Yes.
so I do think that piece was one of the first ones that my metabolism was like, all right, we're not starving dead. We can move this through. It's good.
I love that you brought that one up. That's a great one because people think it's a badge of honor to be like, oh,
Yes.
I'm never hungry. And it's
Yes.
like, actually, that's a problem. You should.
Yeah.
I tell my clients all the time, or just people, I'm like, in general, like, you should wake up energized and hungry. Like, that's how you feel when you wake up. And that's good. And then have a bowel movement. That's like, you've got some good circadian rhythm going on. Right?
Important. Yes.
I love that you switched that up because that does make a huge, huge difference. And then also probably not eating late in the night. I'm sure you probably did that too eventually.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you don't have to be perfectionistic about all these things.
Right.
That's the saying, but yeah.
I mean, so much of it is just paying attention and understanding cycles and rhythms and noticing your body's cues, because it's interesting, like Vanessa and you and I have talked about food on the podcast. We don't want to do the diet dogma, but it just naturally kind of happens after so many years doing the circadian lifestyle. Like now I notice I'm just eating 2 meals a day. So I eat when I get up and then I'm pretty satiated because I'm eating adequate nourishment, right? And then I don't want to eat until later on. But then it's whatever, I don't know, 2, 3, 4. I'm not dogmatic about it at all.
Yeah.
Then it's like, that's my last meal. So by the time I go to bed at 8 or 9 or whatever time it is, never too late, right? Because I don't want to do that to myself and I'm too tired. I don't have food digesting. And that's just a natural shift from summer to fall to winter. And it just happens.
Right.
I mean, and yes, I will say that I have that luxury because I'm not at a job and I don't have to stress out about when I can cook my food. So thank God. I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, totally. I agree, Heather. Same thing. I'm already starting to shift to those 2 meals again too. It's like this just natural shifts. It's like not wanting, like, all of a sudden I'm like, nope, definitely not wanting the salad anymore. That's definitely out. It's over.
Yeah.
Like even like I'm like, nope, don't even want it. Like you just start naturally craving what's in season. I'm like, all right, we're making a roast beef with mashed potatoes and gravy. Like that sounds like amazing right now. Like
yes. Yeah. And I think with all of this, I think it's important for us to see that we've just become so over programmed. And like you mentioned AI, Heather, I know that people are into this and it's going to piss some people off. I'm just going to say it. I love your bones. I'm not trying to piss you off. But to me, the heavy information every day on where you are and what your O-ring said. How did you sleep? How many calories? I forgot to put my lunch macros. To me, that is so different than how our genetics have been programmed since the dawn of time to do that with so many numbers and at all times. Like, I think I didn't realize that our thoughts, they're holding different energetic vibrations all day. So if you're pulling this information and every meal has numbers around it for you and you're making sure and you're so meticulous, I just feel like that's a heavy burden.
It's
And like
stressful.
life's hard enough. Like, do we want to live in this place where we have to calculate and then we see, wait, we didn't hit that by 300? I just think it breeds anxiety. And I think that all of it has a tendency to divorce again from the intuition. Like,
Yeah.
you're not even trying to hear your own body language because you're just like, I have 318 calories left on my list today. And it is, I do think that holds a weight that is not serving most people. I know it's a path people are obsessed with, people are macro obsessed, but I just have not found it helpful long term for emotional mental health personally.
Oh, anxiety, stress,
Yeah.
rigidity.
Yeah.
And also then you said not allowing your intuition to come in because you're like, well, maybe some days my macros are going to be 2000.
Yeah.
And maybe the next day, then it's going to be, I don't know, 13, 14,
Yeah.
because I ate a lot yesterday or whatever. Like,
Yes.
so it's just, what do you feel like? You know what I mean? And then if like you're pre-planning all your meals, you're like, again, you can't rely on your intuition. You're like, well, what do I feel like eating? Oh no, this is what I planned. This is what I have to eat.
Yes.
You know, like that's like, ugh. And I get people who work and have to maintain weight, like maybe like, I mean, we work, but we work in a more more
Right.
aligned way, right? We
Yeah.
have a little bit more flexibility and less rigidity probably in our day because we're not in a 9 to 5 job, right?
Right.
So I get that can be more challenging. So you might need to do some planning, but there needs to be some sort of like flexibility in there where it can't be like so like, just
Yeah.
you don't
I
need to
think
do the
it's you
same thing
find
every day.
yes. Yes. And you find your, like, what are your foundations? And then I think there's more flexibility in there. Like, I know I'm going to have my Yoki coffee every single day. If I don't, my heart feels so sad. I even bring it on vacation. Like, I am that girl. And it's for me. And it's a joy thing. Like, I go to sleep like, oh my God, my morning coffee. Like, I love it that much. But in general, I'm with you. It's like, people are so used to that when they think of health, they find it ubiquitous with all the rigor and all the planning. It's like, no. We're trying to actually tell you this path and this path. Both of them lead to stress and anxiety and dis-ease. This is just coming back to yourself as a human and finding your home in creation and in nature and in yourself on an ongoing, lifelong, beautiful journey. You know?
Yeah, no.
I have a totally different question. Sorry to change the subject
It's okay.
so quickly, ladies. If you had known all the things about circadian rhythm and melatonin, or not melatonin, gosh, what's my brain? The skin pigment. What's it called?
Melanin.
Would you get all the tats again?
You know what? Someone asked me that the other day. I probably would, because I've played the game with myself that my tattoo girl is like a staunch lifelong vegan. And I bet you these have very low heavy metals, if none. And I'm going to keep saying that to every cell in my body. Probably though, if I'm being super real, I probably wouldn't have had that many, but this is who I am in a funny way. Like I said, I was getting one tattoo. And then I got this one. This girl right here is the nesting doll, talking about we carry everyone we've ever been. And it was my way to honor that.
Oh, I love
My
that.
husband thought this was going to be this big. And so when I came home, he was like, oh my God, you're a tattoo girl. And then it was just downhill. I was like, I'm obsessed with this. This is why I don't drink alcohol.
I get it.
Yeah.
So you were thinking, Heather, more along the lines of your body can't make melanin in that area when there's a tattoo. Is that what you were thinking, Heather?
Okay. See, I didn't even think about that, Heather. Now I'm going to have to pray through that for sure. But I was talking.
You see, though, I think like sometimes there's like this. Okay, so knowledge is great to have. We have a lot of knowledge, but when then like we don't need to know that or think that and like make it like a problem, right? When it's really not, because you're already like thriving and doing well, so it's not a problem. But I just was like trying to understand Heather's question, because we can like really get caught up in all of that. Like, oh shit, this happened. Now I'm fucked.
But that ties into the rigidity of people's, there's people who avoid the sun, like that weird guy, I forget his name, and he takes all these supplements.
Oh my God, yes.
That guy. And then there's people who are like, oh my God, I can't get a tattoo because, I might miss that sun right there. It's like you have other skin on your body. So I think it's like, what lights up your soul? I mean, I wouldn't do the thing where people tattoo their whole body in their eyeballs. Like, that's just
Right.
too much. But,
Yes.
it's like, what lights up your soul? And if that's part of your self-expression, and this
Yeah.
is interesting things. There used to be a lot of what I call natural peoples, or, native peoples, and they would tattoo all kinds.
Yes.
And they were in the sun a lot more, and they were outside all
Right.
the time.
I think your body will adapt though and figure
Yeah.
it out. Like you're
Yeah.
just gonna get more sun energy in the other places. And
Yeah, and I've heard the heavy metals. That's what people have given me shit about, is that tattoos apparently the color carries a lot of heavy metals. And I've been like, I don't know. But yeah, the melanin piece, I also had LASIK eye surgery.
Wait a
You
minute.
had
though.
LASIK.
Wait a minute. I just want to go back to the heavy metals though.
Yeah.
What helps detox heavy metals?
I'm drinking local algae. So right now
but
that's
also that one's good, but also melanin.
melanin. Yes. Yes.
Also, your tan helps you detox heavy metals.
Yeah. So
Okay.
good. So I kind of am just like, it'll be fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it'll be fine. It'll be fine. You're outside in the sun. You're doing
Yeah.
your detoxification there. It'll be fine. But yeah, I had LASIK also. So yeah,
Yeah.
and then some like if you would have asked me like 3 or 4 years ago if I would have never done LASIK, like I would have probably said, yeah, I probably wouldn't do it. Now I'm not sure I would say that answer anymore because I'm like, it is such a huge benefit to not have to wear contacts or glasses or just have to deal with it. And I don't think it's like a 50-50 shot, whether it has
Right.
an impact on your circadian biology because of the laser rays of light that are entering your eyes are just so important, right? But I don't think it impacted it because light has made a huge impact on my health, right? So I think it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
you do run a risk, maybe, possibly, but it really does suck to like have to find glasses and contacts, and it's such a pain in the butt. And it's like, I kind of love that freedom of not having to
I
have.
love it.
It's like amazing.
Yeah, my mom actually worked for the original doctor that brought LASIK from Saudi Arabia to America. And he was at the Emory Vision Correction Center back in the day, 20 something years ago. And I was able to have LASIK way too young. And I've seen doctors in my adulthood that are like, you had it when? I was like, I was 15. And they're like, I'm sorry, what?
Wow.
So I should not have been 15, and I had an enhancement, and it's actually held so well. I don't even wear glasses. All that to say, I'm kind of one of those, I don't know if I'd have it now, but I'm with you, Vanessa. It's so damn convenient. And I was like pretty blind, like minus 6.25 in one of my eyes, 5.75 in the other, where I wouldn't know who you are from 4 feet away. I just know you're the person and a female. So yeah, and all of those, I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I just I did a lot of wild things too. So I joke that I'm also very devoted to circadian health to kind of karmically make up for the years that I just burned it at both ends in my body, like it was my full-time job.
Yeah.
But we're gonna say I feel fine about it. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
totally. Totally. I was totally blind too, so I totally get that. But people say you can heal your vision with, getting the
Yeah.
I guess 15 is young because they say also that your vision can still change. But
Yes.
yeah, it worked out for you. So I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Both my kids, two of my kids have vision issues like me, and my oldest vision has not changed at all. Like his prescription hasn't changed in 3 years. And honestly, he was asking me why I think that is the case. And I think it's the homeopathy that he's been on has really made the change because he has a strong phosphorus component to him, and it's a very good one for the eyes. And I just like that. I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And I mean, he does do some of the blocking of the blue light and all the things too that I teach him, not as diligent as me, let's be honest. But he does do some of it. So I'm sure that's helping. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, Nat, this has been so fun. It's I just love the resonance. I love your humor. You are hilarious. Your soul is just, massively infinite. It's just nourishing. Just be here with you. So I know we're getting to the end here, right, Vanessa? So any parting words of wisdom, and then tell people where to find you if they want to sign up for your offerings.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Parting words of wisdom. I'm in my family. I'm like the corniest. Like if someone's going to say something just corny as hell, it's going to be me. It's going to be a holiday. I'm going to be crying. We're going to say the shit we should say at the funeral on Christmas morning. Like that is me. I would just say that I invite everybody to step back from their modern life and to really get curious about all of these day-to-day 5-minute moments, like who we're showing up as in that place and seeing, does it feel like you're fully alive? And I think adults can feel like that's corny. Like, yeah, sure, I'm alive. But like, no, I mean, like, like aliveness where like you get chills when you step outside and when you hear a bird sing and when you want to cry because that butterfly is like so beautiful. And when you just see the smile of another person and you're like, we both share the image of God. What a miracle. Like what a miracle to be alive and to be a part of all of it. And I just want people to experience whatever their full expression of aliveness is. And I think that the world is set up to keep people asleep. And I'm just, with all of my heart and SunWhore rebelliousness, just inviting people that there is another way, and it's a whole different world of awakening. And I feel like it is creating a new heaven, a new earth here and now. And you can find me at the SunWhore on Instagram. I was on TikTok till I just stopped posting. I don't know. It's like this. I hate this platform. And then I just started selling Make Wellness peptides. And those are like highly bioavailable. They're the first on the market that are not injectable, totally organic. And I'm kind of going to do an experiment with myself. And I'm taking their fit, their lean, and their focus. And I'm going to take them every single day. I was very impressed with the ingredients. And I sent them to someone more scholarly than me. And I was like, rip this apart. What do you think about these peptides? And he was like, very impressed, going to consider selling them. And I was like, all right, you're smarter than me. I dropped out of high school. So I'm doing those kind of as an experiment to see if this will help me lose the last 20 pounds. And yeah, just signed on to that. I told myself I would never sell something if I didn't believe in it. So I'm my own guinea pig here. And so far I'm freaking loving them. Lifting heavier, more energy, better recovery. And yeah, I'm on a couple more podcasts coming up and just trying to get the word out there.
Yeah. Well, this has been so fun, Nat. We really appreciate you coming on. Really, really, like I said, your authenticity is really what shines for you the most. Love
thank
that.
you so much. Y'all are precious to even just take a risk on me, because I know some people are like, that girl is a loose cannon. And I'm like, I really am.
No, but I like that about you. Like, I don't think you're a loose cannon. I think you're just showing your real self. And I love it. I love it.
I appreciate that so much. You guys are fantastic.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. For more information about Vanessa's offerings, visit her website at Bright Light Wellness Coach or her Instagram, bright_light wellness and healing families with homeopathy.
For more information about Heather and her offerings, go to her website at enlightenedmood.com or find her on Instagram at Heather Crimson. See you guys on the next show.